Ben, are you on the call, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm unmuted. Fresh fade, streamline, shot back and no chance, as we call it, from West Yorkshire. But yeah, Ben Cockayne's my name, guys. I'm from West Yorkshire. I'm a West Yorkshire boy, but I now live in East Yorkshire. Play rugby league for a team called Hull Kingston Rovers. I've been playing professional sports since 2005. One of the older statesmen in our team at the moment, and just coming to a testimonial year. So that's who I am. That's what I do. Direct sellers for me is a part-time business. What me and my wife do together. We've done this kind of business model previously. 2012 was actually my first experience in the direct sales industry with a nutrition company. It fit quite well at the time. I was doing. I'm a personal trainer as well. I've got a level 3 personal training certificate. So at the time when I joined my first company, I was doing like boot camp kind of things, if you like. Obviously, still playing professional sport. So I've always had a bit of an eye for business away from sport, because I'm fully aware that as a professional sportsman, your career's never going to last a lifetime, so to speak. As a rugby league player, I'm 33 years old now. I'm going to be 34 in July. So this is possibly my last season playing professional sport. So that is pretty much the lifespan of a rugby league player. If you can get to 35, 36, you've done extremely well from the sport. So we do need something after sport, beyond our life as sportsmen. And I was fortunate enough to come across this business model, like I said, back in 2012. I kind of fell out with it at the back end. Probably last year, I started losing interest in the model. And me and my wife went away in October. We got married in America. We came back. And my focus for 2017 was really just to focus on my testimonial year and enjoy what may be my last year as a professional sportsman. But a friend of mine, Anthony Raspin, who's not on the call tonight, he got in touch with me about 5 weeks ago, and he said, Ben, I've come across something, and I'm just looking for a bit of advice. And I said, no worries, Raz, I'm more than happy to help you out. What is it? He said, well, I've come across a new direct sales company, which I'm really excited about. And the first thing I said to him, I said, well, Raz, it's definitely not for me. I've lost my appetite for network marketing or direct sales, whatever you want to call it. So I'm not really that interested. But if I can advise you, I'll do my very best. So he said, well, it's a wine company. And as soon as he said wine, my ears pricked up, probably as did yours. If you're looking at this as a guest tonight, somebody probably mentioned wine to you, making money or free wine, and your ears probably pricked up like mine did. So I ended up on a call like this. And after the call, I said to Raz, no, I'm going to wait until the product comes. I'll get into that a little bit more as this call goes on. But I said, I'll wait till the product comes and then I'll get in. So anyway, me and my wife sat on it for a week. We just sat having conversations about it, thinking about wine tasting events and how we would acquire customers and business partners. And we got ourselves that excited about it, myself in particular, that I actually rang Raz back. And I said, Raz, I need to know more about this wine thing. We've been thinking about it for a week. What's next? And he said, well, you're in luck. There's a call tonight. Jump on this call. There's going to be somebody on. I think it might have been Paul and Sheo maybe were on the call. They explained the business again. And straight after that call, bang, I signed up, joined the business. Couldn't hold back any longer, joined the business. And within a week, 6 days, me and my wife reached the top of the compensation plan. And that was just by speaking to a large volume of people. We didn't do anything spectacular or out of the ordinary. We just spoke to a very large amount of people. And, up to press, we've got 12 personally enrolled business partners, and we've got a group of around 55 to 60 people. So it has grown very quick in less than a month, which is very exciting. So the company itself, that's enough about my little story so far. I'm going to tell you about the company now. The company's been around since 2014. In April of 2016, direct sellers decided they were going to change their whole business model, the wine club model. They were going to take it to the direct sales model, network marketing. I like to call it word of mouth marketing, because that's pretty much what network marketing is. You tell people about it, tell people about the business and the product, and you get rewarded financially. That is pretty much how it works. So since then, since April 2016, the company's grown very quickly. And approximately at the moment, I think there's around 12,000 people within the company. I couldn't give you an exact figure, but the last time I spoke to one of the leadership with the company or listened to one of the leadership, there was talking around the 12,000 mark. In the UK, at the moment, I don't think there's quite 200 people yet, but I'm sure that's going to change over the next week or so, because we've got some serious momentum as a group of people, and it's mainly because there's no resistance and there's no objection to people talking about alcohol. I mean, come on, this is the UK. People enjoy socialising. In some cases, maybe getting drunk. So this is a great opportunity for people to socialise, potentially get free wine, and maybe even make some money as well. So that is why it's very appealing to a lot of people at the moment. I saw this as a major opportunity for a couple of factors. I've already glanced over them, but the first thing for me was the company's in pre-launch in the UK. So what that basically means is it's not officially launched into the UK yet. So the product is not in and around the UK yet being consumed. When we purchase our business partner pack, we have to send our first batch of wine to America, because like I said, we're in the pre-launch period. But for me, that's very exciting. I've been in the first company I joined, there was about 30 to 40,000 members in the UK alone, and I went on to make a 5-figure monthly income from that particular company. And I never say that to boast or to show off. I'm just trying to make it clear to you that that was a nutrition company where I had to encourage people and motivate people to continue using a certain product to get a result. So when I looked at this, there was less than 100 people involved when I joined, so that was music to my ears. And coupled that with the fact that it's alcohol and wine, and the UK are very accustomed to a social culture, shall we say, I just thought this was an absolute no-brainer. So I got in. Like I said, I sat on it for a week like an idiot. And then I actually rang Raz back up, very excited, and said, Raz, come on, let's see what we can do with this. And as I said, 4 weeks later, it has grown extremely well. And everybody that's in the business and that's on this call right now, they will tell you that this is, Paul's already mentioned it, I believe it's going to be the next big thing. Let's just say that, the next big thing that's going to come into the UK. And there's going to be a lot of fortunate people that make some serious changes to their lives and their families' lives over the next 18 to 24 months, I believe. So I'm going to tell you now about the customer program. We have got a very strong customer program, again, which I think is going to suit the UK market to a T, because what I also know about the UK market, even though we do like a social and drinking wine and alcohol and things like that, I also know that a lot of my friends in particular are quite tight. So when I tell them about the customer program that we've got, the incentive we've got, it's going to be very appealing, because if I introduce Paul as a customer and Paul partners up with me as a subscriber, he becomes my customer, subscribes to the wine club, then if Paul goes on and introduces 3 of his friends, Paul gets his wine for free. So that is a massive incentive for customers. And like I said, I know that my friends in particular will be telling as many people as they can just so they get their wine for free. And why not? You know, if you can get your wine for free just by speaking to people, that's a great incentive. And as I've already said, I believe that word-of-mouth marketing, what I like to call it, is the best form of advertisement that is available on the planet. You know, because if you get a product or a service and you enjoy it, what do? You tell your friends about it. And this is no different what we do. So that's the customer program. Now we've got a couple of options to get started in the business. I'm actually going to do a screen share while I take you through this part. So I'm just going to share my screen, and then I can take you through this part in a little bit more detail and give you a visual as well. So these are the ways we can make money. We get a fast start bonus, dual team. I'm going to cover a couple of those ways tonight. The person that invited you will tell you a little bit more in detail afterwards. But to get started in this business, we've got 2 options. You can come in as what's called a Premium Wine Lover Elite. That costs you $500. With that package, you get 3 years membership with the company or partnership, 40% discount on any future wine moving forward, and you also get 12 bottles of wine shipped out to your contacts. Now, from a UK perspective, at this moment in time, there's no point in spending more money than you need to, because as I mentioned briefly earlier on, we are not officially shipping wine shipping wine around the UK at this moment in time. So we have to send our first batch of wine to any contacts that we might have in America. So because of that, we're recommending that we come in at the $250 package. Now, the $250 package is going to give you a year's partnership with the company. It's going to give you 20% discount on any future wine moving forward, and it's going to give you 4 bottles of premium wine. So basically, the $250 package is just going to get us positioned in the business, ready for the explosion and the eruption when this thing officially launches in the UK and people just start flooding in to the company. So $250 gets you positioned, and as I said, it gets you them few things what I've touched on there. So your initial investment is $250. So I'm going to skip this page. So we're talking about the $250 package. Now, for you to get your initial investment back, you just need to find 2 business partners. So 2 people like myself, like Paul, like Andy, Maria, whoever else is already in the business and on this call. You'll find 2 business partners who see in terms of a business opportunity, you've got your investment back. Now, I don't know too many other companies or businesses what you can set up for $250 and potentially get your investment back in a day. You know, never mind 2, 3, 4, 5 years, like some traditional businesses, it takes them that long to get their initial investments back. So for $250, it's a very low investment, and all you've got to do to get your money back is find 2 other people that see the opportunity that you see. So again, you can get your money back in a relatively quick period of time, depending how fast you want to work. And with that, you are going to get help and support, not only from the people that have got you on the call tonight, but from myself, from Paul, and the other guys that are leading the charge in the UK. So the second part of the compensation plan, how we get paid. So the first way you get paid is by introducing other people. You get the fast start bonus, what I just touched on. The second way is what we call the dual team. So it all ties in together, this. Once you do find your 2 business partners, then you become what we call dual team qualified, and that makes you eligible for commissions on this part of the compensation plan. Now, the first 2 people you bring into the business, number 1 is going to go on your left or right leg of business. Number 2 is going to go on your left or right leg of business. So they're going to go on the opposite sides when you enroll them into the business. So effectively, you have got 2 sales teams, a left sales and a right sales team. Now, every single week, this part of the compensation plan, the company's computer is going to snapshot this part of the compensation plan through infinity. So as many people as come into your dual team structure, you're going to get paid a commission based on the least performing leg of business. Now, I'm going to give you an example. My left leg of business has gone crazy. There's about, 40 to 45 people in my left leg of business. In my right leg of business, there's only about 16 people. So as it stands, I'm getting paid on my least performing leg. But we're just going to use this as an example, what you can see right now. So the right leg of business has done 4,000 in sales volume. The left leg of business has done 5,000 in sales volume this particular week. So you're going to get paid on the least performing leg, which would be a right leg. That part of the compensation plan is going to pay you up to 20% in commissions on the dual team. Now, it starts off at 2% and it works its way up to 20% for every person that you bring in. So when you bring in 2 people, that's 6%. And for every other person you bring in, it increases by 2% up to your 9th person until you've personally enrolled 9 people. So the only negative about the dual team, although it pays you infinity deep, there's a cap on your earnings on the dual team. So unfortunately, the cap on that part of the compensation plan is 25 grand a week. So, I hope you can manage on that when this thing really does grow and it explodes in the UK and people start coming into your dual team when it's beyond your control. Like I said already, my left leg of business has already got 40 plus people in there. I've only personally enrolled 6 into that side of my business. You can't control it once it starts going. And when you get a couple of people that see the opportunity and start introducing people, there's just no control. So you're not going to have any control of what you earn on that part of the compensation plan, which it's scary, but it's very exciting as far as I'm concerned. So I've shown you the company information. I've told you about the background of the company. I've also covered the enrollment fee to get you started, $250. To get that investment back, all you need to do at this moment in time is find 2 business partners. I've told you about the lucrative or very incentivized, if that's even a word, customer program get 3 people, you get your wine shipped for free. So all I've got to say now really is the fact that when I looked at this first, I was quite rude and a bit arrogant towards it, and I said, Raz, I'm not bothered in network marketing. I've lost my appetite for it. As soon as he said wine, I got interested. The reason you're probably interested in this right now is because you understand, like I understand, the British culture is built upon socialising. Now we've got the best product possible for the network marketing model in the UK, I believe, worldwide, in fact, because let's be honest, the UK is not the only place on the planet that consumes wine. Wine is a global product that is consumed daily by a large amount of people, and it's never ever going to go out of fashion. People have never said to me when I've talked about this so far, does the wine work? What's in the wine? You know, with previous companies, people are picking and poking at it. Well, what about this? What about that? Or I've got my result. I don't need to use it anymore. The great thing about wine is it's a product that people want. And what I found in business is people will always pay for a product that they want rather than a product that they might actually need. So that's why I'm excited. That's why I've got massive belief in what's going to happen with this company over the coming months. And I'm really excited for the people that are already involved and you people that are looking at this right now. My advice would be don't sit on the fence too long, because the longer you sit on the fence, the more people are going to come into the business. And with a binary system in particular, you want to be as high up as that as you possibly can. So, Paul, on that note, I'm finished speaking for tonight. Best of luck to each and every one of you. If I can help in any other way, I'm always available on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, and things like that as well. So over to you, Paul, and thanks again for letting me speak.
Thanks, Ben. Cheers. So like Ben, I'm in the fitness industry. I've been a personal trainer or a fitness professional for the last 12 years now. I don't do this full time like Ben. I don't class myself as a networker, and I'm certainly not a public speaker. The amount of times that we both cock up, but we're real people. We're real people living real lives, but we're having fun doing it. And for those that are on the call tonight for the first time, I hope you can see that this is a fun social business. It's not 2 guys that are dressed up in suits with a flip chart going for a presentation that if they smile, they're going to get told off by their upline, because this is not what this is about. This is something where everyone can win, where everyone can enjoy it, and everyone can be successful. So, as I said, I've been in the fitness industry for 12 years now. I currently run a gym. I run boot camps where I've come from tonight. I'm actually getting married like in 4 weeks today, which scares the crap out of me. But one of my other passions, like the majority of people in the fitness industry, is that I like wine. I like to indulge in a nice drop of wine. And for me, there's nothing better than coming home after a hard day at work and having a nice meal and having a drop of wine with it. So my networking career began in 2013, which was a health and wellness company. I had some success with it, but I wouldn't say I was successful with it. And by that, I meant that I managed to help a lot of clients and a lot of friends and family get fit, get healthy, lose weight, gain some lean muscle. And in terms of finances, I managed to retire myself from full-time employment within 12 months and also helped a few people make a little bit of money along the way. But what I realised is that there was a hell of a lot of competition out there with regards to health and wellness. And what I didn't like about it, being in the fitness industry, that was on social media, there was a lot of people just slagging each other's companies off. And for me, I didn't like that. I loved the fact that I could help people from all over the world, as I said, get fit, get healthy, and make some residual income that could reduce stress in people's lives and help people gain either time or financial freedom. So I had some fun doing it. I did enjoy doing it, but it got to a stage where the competition was just too much. And being in the industry for 12 years and spending thousands upon thousands of pounds and flying all over the world to do training courses and seminars and whatnot, I felt that I had to work even harder to promote these products. And the amount of people that used to say to me, well, what's in it? How many grams of protein's in it? But yet they'd go into McDonald's or they'd go into Burger King and they'd order their meal, and yet they would not ask what's in a Big Mac or what's in a Whopper. So I stepped back from that. And to cut a long story short, in December of last year, I was sitting in my front room like I am now, enjoying a nice glass of wine, where I got a text message from a lady that was in that particular company, and we sent a few messages backwards and forwards, but then she put a curve in this conversation. She threw a curveball in this conversation by asking me a question that back then was a bit freaky, but right now is probably one of the most powerful questions on social media. And that question is, do I drink wine? Now, I had a glass of wine in my hand at the time, and I've not spoken to this woman for 2 years. So it freaked me out no end, because I didn't know where this was coming from. So I jumped out of my seat. I looked out the window. I didn't know where she was. I thought Tara had fitted close like circuit TV. I thought people were watching me Big Brother style. But I said to her, yes, I love wine. I've got a glass of wine in my hand right now. Talk to me. So we got on the phone, and she told me about this company, Direct Sellers. She told me that it's a premium wine club that's been around for 4 years. She told me that in April of last year, they attached a compensation plan to it to make it different from any other premium wine club out there. She told me that it wasn't in the UK yet, but it was soon to launch. She told me that it was going to be one of the fastest, the biggest, the most exciting social movements that this planet has ever seen. From that conversation, I joined. I didn't get on a Zoom call. I didn't watch any opportunity calls. I didn't watch any snippets or videos or links or anything like that, because a few years ago, when all the crap was going around within the network marketing industry about he said, she said, and this company does that and we don't and we do, I turned around and I said to one of my mates, how good, how fun, how easy, how exciting would it be if there was a network marketing model that done wine, where everyone could win, where everyone could enjoy themselves, and there's no rejection, there's no conflict, there's nothing. So from that thought that I had a few years ago, and from this conversation that I had with this lady in December, my mind was concrete. It was in. I was done. I signed up there and then. I then watched the videos. I then watched the links. I then jumped on opportunity calls. And from what I saw, I was excited. So I got Christmas out of the way. I enjoyed myself. I unwound. I've spent time with the family, spent time with some friends, drunk some wine over the Christmas period like we all do. But in January, I wanted to test the water. Now, I didn't want to go flat out and full on with this, because I knew that we didn't have the product. And I didn't want to go out there talking to people about the product that we didn't have. So I sent a few messages. And my initial goal was to build a team. And Shayo can vouch for me for this, my upline that's on the call tonight. My initial goal was that I didn't want to put any more than 10 people in my organisation until the UK launched. I wanted to position a few people. I wanted to see what happened. I wanted to listen to the stories, to see the success unfold. And then when we launched, then we go crazy. Well, in my first full month of being in the company in January, I managed to hit the top of the compensation plan, as did Ben. Mine took 4 weeks, Ben took 6 days. I was the third person in the UK to do that. I think Ben was the 5th or the 6th, I can't remember. Right now, there's only 7 people that have hit the top of the comp plan. If you know 9 people that like drinking wine, that need more money, that want more money, that have had networking experience, or that haven't had networking experience but love drinking wine, then talk to them. 9 people, you've hit the top of the compensation plan. So I looked at this now and I thought, we could do something with this. This is a little bit bigger than what I thought it was going to be in December. Over the next 3 months, my organisation, I thought about having these 10 people before launch, and we are so close to launch now. We're probably no more than a couple of months away from launch. As of about an hour ago, my organisation is now 217 people strong. And I don't say that to impress people, because most of you don't know me and most of you probably don't even care. But the power of the product that we've got and the power of the compensation plan that Ben's explained tonight has made this company one of the most talked about companies in the network marketing industry. Now, I've only personally enrolled 16, 17 people, but yet I've got an organisation of 217 people. It's only available and it's only live in the United States of America, but yet I've got people in the UK, in Spain, in Canada, in Mexico, and in Australia in my downline. Why? Because it's wine. Once people know that there's an opportunity out there and the product is wine, they will want in. Now, 5 weeks ago, I was lucky enough and I was fortunate enough to go out to the States and to go out to Vegas for the official launch of Direct Sellers. Whilst I was out there, I got to listen to the 4 founders. Now, you've got 4 guys that have all had huge success in their own rights, in their own conventional businesses. Money is no object for these guys. They're debt-free. There's not a problem at all. So you've got 4 guys who work to their strengths, that play to their strengths, but sing the same word on the same line, on the same song sheet every single time. From there, you've got a guy called Kevin Thompson. Now, Kevin Thompson is arguably the world's #1 attorney for network marketing in the whole world. He's partnered up with this company. He can see where this is going, and he loves what the boys are doing. So anyone out there that's thinking compliance, or anyone that is going to talk to someone and they get a compliance question, mention the name Kevin Thompson, Google him. They will then soon start to see just how serious this company really is. For those of you that like drinking wine, for those of you that want to get into drinking wine in a little bit more detail, for those of you that think or class yourself as a wine connoisseur, there's a guy involved with this called Jerry Greenfield. I was going to say Jerry Springfield then. Jerry Greenfield, he's known as the Wine Whisperer. He's our director of wine. He's been in the wine industry for 30 years, and what he doesn't know about wine is not worth asking him. Now, every Wednesday, he does a SoundCloud recording and gives tips and tricks and inside information about wine. So for those of you that want to know more and want to learn about more, he is your go-to guy. I was lucky enough to meet him in the States as well. On top of that, you've got a leadership that is so close and so motivating and so inspiring that it can only go in one direction. Now, the guy that is in charge of our team, the guy that's our upline, he joined on the 3rd or the 4th of November. Between now and then, he's created a team of nearly 3,500 people, and nearly 110 of those that hit the top of the compensation plan. So right now you've got the leadership. I've talked about the Kevin Thompson. I've talked about Jerry Greenfield, and I've talked about the leadership. Take that and add to it the compensation that Ben talked about earlier. And I'm just going to very quickly touch on that binary scheme that he talked about earlier. Now, I worked out a sum, or I worked out a few figures last week, and it worked out that if every single person in my organisation brought 1 person in per month, every single month between now and the end of the year. Now, bearing in mind, Ben brought in 9 people in 6 days. So if 1 person brought in 1 new person every single month between now and Christmas, my organisation would be close to 100,000 people. If you're a master seller in this company, if you've brought in 9 people and you've got 100,000 people in your organisation, your binary check alone is going to look pretty healthy every single week going forward. Okay, so the comp plan is the strongest compensation plan we've got out there. The product we don't need to tell you about. Ben does not need to talk about what goes in a bottle of Malbec. I don't need to talk about what goes in a bottle of Shiraz. We do not manufacture the wine. The wine has been around for hundreds of thousands of years. Wine is going to be around for another 100,000 of years. So even if you don't drink wine, look at this as an investment for your kids or your grandkids or your great-grandkids in the future, because this is not going to go anywhere. Yes, it's a premium wine club like Naked Wines, Virgin Wines, Laithwaites or whatever else. But in none of those clubs you get wine for free, and none of those clubs you certainly don't get paid for it. So, as I said at the beginning of the call before I press record, this will be the fastest, the biggest, the most exciting, fun social movement that Facebook, social media or network marketing has ever seen. So to close it off, we're coming up to past, and we try and keep this at half an hour. So to close this off, all I'm going to say to you, especially for those that are new on the call tonight, please go back to the person that invited you on this call. Please get any questions answered that you've got written down or that's in your head. If there's one question that's stopping you from signing and joining us tonight, then get that answered. Because if I said no back in December and I only said yes now, think about the numbers that are going to be above you. Think about the numbers that could be below you. What we've done in what I've done in my first 3 months with some incredible people like Ben, like Andy, like Maria, and some of the other guys on the call is literally nothing compared to what we're going to do over the next 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, whatever months. So please go back to the person that invited you onto this call. On Sunday night at the same time, on the same link, there'll be another opportunity call, and we will have Jefferson Green who is our upline, who is the guy that's created a team of close to 3,500 people on the call with us. So my advice to all of those that are new on the call tonight is to go away, is to speak to people, is to invite people onto this opportunity call so they can see how excited you are about direct sellers. This is not going to move. This is only going to go in one direction. So if you don't want to do this, then that's fair enough, but it's going to happen anyway. If myself and Ben decide to drop out, which we won't because it's going to go crazy, it's still going to happen. So as I said, go back to the person that invited you onto this call. I will get the recording up and out as soon as this call is finished. But for that is it. Ben, appreciate you getting on board. Appreciate you speaking again. Guys, I appreciate every one of you getting on a Friday evening. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you back on